Hey guys, Pyker here again, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I've been having extreme difficulties with getting this game to run and to record it at the same time. I've actually just had problems getting it to run at all without it crashing. I've gone through a bunch of steps to try to get it to run smoother, and basically I've come to the conclusion that I have a 6-year-old PC that is updated out the wazoo, but it's still I feel like I just need a new PC. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up doing that, and hopefully the next update to Kerbal Space Program will help fix some of these problems that I've been having. A lot of people have been having the same kind of problems I have, and basically every time I play this game, it crashes at least 6 to 10 times without even recording anything. So I'm just trying to get this episode up just to kind of give you guys an update of what I've been working on. And yeah, so what we're doing right now, well, this mission is basically I'm going to go up to the space station that I've already put into orbit. It's two parts. I've changed the altitude of the space station, I've changed the design of the space station, and I'll basically explain it as we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and throttle up 2/3 of the way and turn my SAS on, and we're gonna launch it in 3, 2, 1, go. So I was trying to I was trying to mess with some mods. Mainly just one mod, which was the Cathane mod, which I thought was pretty cool, which would actually give me a better reason, I want to say, to build a moon base. So I wanted to use the Cathane mod and build a moon base for with the Cathane. Basically, Cathane, it can be found on any planet, but you have to scan for it. So you have to send out satellites to scan the planets, find Cathane deposits, and then get a mining crew on surface with drills and converters and tanks and whatnot. So I was gonna do that, but for some reason my game's I've uninstalled it and reinstalled it. I cannot get this game to run smoothly anymore. I don't know why. So, but basically I was gonna do that, but for right now we're just gonna get this episode out there, and probably after this episode we're gonna wait until the new update to get another episode out, because it's been so difficult to try to even record an episode to put up. So unfortunately we're probably gonna swap to a different game, and I'm probably gonna do a let's play with a different game, which will still be fun. It'll be fun. I mean, maybe not as fun as Kerbal Space Program, because this game is ridiculously fun. But so we'll figure something out. So, anyways, I built a new space station, and I put it at about 150,000 meters from the surface in an orbit, a pretty circular orbit. And I've started using the biggest docking ports, like the senior docking ports, because it's way easier to connect big pieces of spaceship together. And basically I've redesigned the space station itself. I built like a command pod like I had before, but I also built a docking station that connects to the command pod. So the docking station has 4 nodes on it, and a big senior docking node in the center with 4 little ones on the outside, so I can dock ships and transfer fuel, and it's got a decent sized fuel tank in it already, and then I can also fly up full tankers of fuel up to it and dock them and let them sit for travel to different planets or moons or what have you. But right now we're going up for this mission. We're going up and we are swapping. I think Jeb is up in the command pod right now, Jebediah. So we're gonna bring him back down to the surface safely, hopefully, and we're gonna put one of our new recruits in there. We might put Gus Bus Kerman or Dude Moan Kerman up in the command pod to run it for a little while. But so yeah, this is the trials and tribulations that I've been trying to get through to get an episode recorded, and it's just been very, very difficult, unfortunately. But well, what are you gonna do? I mean, I'm trying my best to get these these up and running, but it literally took me about a week to even get to this episode, just to even record it successfully. It's just been a nightmare, basically. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys can understand the amount of trouble that I have gone through to try to even get this episode recorded. Um, but our last episode that we left off from, we were getting our guys the off of the moon and bringing them back home safely. Just so you guys know, I did get them off of the moon, and I did get them back to Kerbin safely. But after I did that, I loaded the game back up the next day, and I didn't have any flights. Like, I lost all my save files. Like, there was nothing there. So that's when the trouble started. Um, I don't know what it just maybe it didn't want me to do. Maybe it didn't want me to bring them home from the moon, and it was trying to tell me something. But now I can't even get the game to run smoothly without running into some kind of issues uh, with performance issues or it crashing whenever I switch uh, uh, spaceships or whatever. I just I don't know what's going on with it. I've uninstalled and reinstalled this game at least 5 times, trying to figure it out, and it's just not having a good time with it. Um, so hopefully we're gonna wait until the new update, which is I think it's 0.22. Yeah, 0.22, and we're gonna hopefully that'll fix a lot. I know that they're working on the fraps issue, which is if you play in windowed mode, it'll crash whenever it switches from spaceship, or if it switches from VAB to the space center or what have you. But a lot of people have been having issues with that too. So I'm hoping that that'll fix most of my issues in the next update. But I honestly have no clue if it will or not. I'm kind of just hoping that it will. Um, I even went into like my processors and made sure that only like I have a dual core processor, and I'm making sure that one processor is designated to this game so it'll run smoother. Uh, and that seems to be helping, but it's still not uh, the best thing in the world for some reason. But anyways, we're gonna get up to our space station, which is in orbit around Kerbin at about 150,000 meters, and it's a little off axis. Either that I'm off axis, or I think I'm off axis probably. But we're gonna get our altitude up to about probably 60 to 80,000 meters and try to catch up with our space station. Um, I've also been playing this game a lot, even though it's been crashing. I basically every time I change, whenever I've basically been building spaceships so I can use them all in one and not have to switch from one thing to the other and all yada yada blah blah. But I've basically learned a lot in the past week that I've been playing this game. To get into orbital velocity, it's like 2,400 meters per second, or 2.2 k per second, or 2.2 kilometers a second to get into a circular orbit around Kerbin. And basically, I've been figuring out easier ways to get into orbit and building smaller and lighter launching rigs, I guess you could call them. Building lighter and smaller launching rigs to get into orbit faster and easier without using as much fuel, and also using lighter and more efficient engines to get to the moon and Minmus and stuff like that. I've only landed on the moon once in this game because I literally just reinstalled the game. Maybe actually yesterday I reinstalled this game again, so I lost all my save files again, and so yesterday I put up a space station and a docking station, and today we're swapping out the commander of said space station. After this, we're probably going to put a station around the moon. It's probably not going to have a command pod. It's probably just going to be the docking station, because if I do end up using that Kethane mod, I want to have a station around the moon to fly fuel up to and refuel certain things. So basically the moon will be the hub for getting out to other planets like Duna and Eve and all those different planets. So basically, because basically the hardest part of this game is getting things out of orbit and then having enough fuel to get to where you're going. So basically, I'm trying to get it to the point where I'm omitting the Kerbin orbit or getting out of the Kerbin atmosphere. So basically, all I got to do is get to my space station around Kerbin, refuel, fly out to the moon, refuel again, and then from the moon go to wherever I'm going. But also, I also have to build. I still have to build rockets that are, efficient enough with enough fuel to get out that far, or to I still have enough space in the rocket to have to be able to get out to different planets and whatnot. And I have a feeling that it's gonna take probably a bunch of trial and error to do exactly what I want to do. But um, for right now, we are just meeting up with our space station for right this second. So right now our apoapsis is about 71,000 meters. That's pretty good actually, and I'm going to fast forward to get to our apoapse to make our orbit a little more circular. And actually, now that I think about it, what I should be doing is making sure that we have enough. Let's see, wait, one should extend our solar panels. I started using action groups as well. They seem to make my life a lot easier. Two should be lights. There we go. So we can actually see what's going on. I don't know if you guys saw the 0.22 update that Squad put out, but it's actually pretty sweet. It's a bunch of scientific modules to put on spaceships, and you actually have to collect data to gain science, and science is used kind of like cash to use in a skill tree basically to get bigger and better parts, which I thought was pretty cool. I actually really can't wait for that. I don't know when it's coming out, but when it does, I'm pretty sure it'll be awesome. It looks really cool. Um, there's a bunch of different science modules now that actually aren't just for looks anymore. They actually will, serve a purpose in gathering data, which I thought was actually really really cool. So I'm excited for the new update, and I'm also excited for the new update, and I'm kind of hoping that it's going to fix this game, um, or at least fix some of my issues that I've been having. Um, but anyways, so we're going to set the KSS as our target, and once we get to the space station, I'll explain or I'll point out all the cool stuff that I've been redoing and rebuilding and whatnot. Um, am I down in the atmosphere again or something? What's going on here? I have to go up to 60,000. I forgot about that. To get up to over, or it might be 60 or 70,000. I don't know. Can we just extend it right here? No, not really. Damn. Well, hopefully we'll be able to speed up and catch up with our space station. That'll be sweet. Actually, you know what? Can we do it this way? I wonder. Let's see, it's 57. Trying to get above 60 at least. I don't know if that'll actually do anything, but we'll see. Let's try it out. 64, 60. All right, so we're above 60. See if that does it. Nope. Damn. I was hoping that was going to change the time warp so I could get up to 50 times, but that's not the case, unfortunately. So, anyways, so the plan is that once I figure out how or why I can't, figure out once I figure out how this game or get this game to run smoothly without any trouble, I'm gonna probably add the Cathane mod and use that as a incentive, I guess you could call it, to build a more elaborate moon base than I was originally planning. Which, I mean, the moon base wasn't going to be anything special. It wasn't going to be. It was going to be like a couple pods with just some cool little things here and there, but it wasn't going to be anything too major. But now, if I can, with the Kethane mod, if I use it or can use it, I could slow this down. If I can use it, I'm going to. It'll basically be a lot more elaborate of a base on the moon, because Uh, I'll have to build like refuelers and fuel pods to hold fuel, and I'll have to build um, modules to actually drill the Kethane out. And then I'll have to build a module for power. I'll have to build a module for the drilling station and the converting stations and all that stuff. So it should be pretty cool if I can ever get this to work. But for right now, we're just gonna. I'm basically making this episode to explain to you guys how much trouble I've been having getting this game to work and what I was planning on doing, because I've been revamping my whole uh, space program. Just basically, I've been learning as I go a lot more. So I actually have a little bit more information to share with you guys that is helpful, I guess you could say. I'm sure you guys love watching me fail miserably, and I'm sure. I mean, that's pretty much what the point of this game was going to be for me, was to basically learn as I go and fail miserably, which I have done and I'm still doing. I still haven't successfully gotten a Kerbal to a different planet yet. I've gotten probes and rovers to different planets once or twice, but other than that, I've only been staying in our immediate solar system, which is Minimus and the Moon. Um, so I've been working on some things and trying to learn a lot more about how this whole game works, uh, uh, to to make it at least a little bit more entertaining. With I'm actually shooting for bigger goals than just getting to the moon and back, which isn't really that difficult for me anymore. But we're still going to do it because I haven't recorded an episode of actually getting to the moon successfully. I might be just making that up. I might have never even made it to the moon. You guys don't know. Um, but so yeah, that's basically what I've been working on, and uh, I think I've fixed or figured out the black bar issue on the YouTube player. Um, with my editor, it's been kind of crappy too. Because I don't know about you guys, but I hate those black bars that are on the side of the videos. It's really annoying to me. I think I figured that out. I'm still working on the quality of the sound. I'm thinking that if I talk in a a little bit louder of a voice, but not terribly loud of a voice, that it'll actually pick up everything that I'm saying. But I do have a tendency to mumble when I'm thinking, unfortunately. So whenever I'm thinking about what I'm doing in a game, I usually mumble to myself, and usually you guys will just pick up bits and pieces of it, unfortunately, because I'm probably just talking to myself, making myself look stupid, which is fine. Um, but what are you gonna do? I don't know. I'm just trying to get this game to work properly, because I really really like this game, and it's extremely difficult to me, which is what makes it so much fun. Also, since I'm putting this game out today, and since I'm still trying to figure out what is going on, but GTA 5 came out today, and I'm gonna go pick it up, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to play that game. I've been waiting for that for a long time. I've played every single GTA that ever came out. It was I don't regret any of it. Those games are awesome. Um, and if I had a PC that can run GTA and I can record it at the same time, I would get it for PC. But I unfortunately do not have a PC that's capable of that at the moment. Um, that'll change come probably December or January. I'll probably grab a new computer and upgrade it a little bit. Basically, the way that I get computers is actually, I think it's all right. I mean, what I used to do, the computer I have now is like 6 or 7 years old, and basically what I've done is I go to like Best Buy or some electronics store, Circuit City back in the day, and all that stuff. I used to go to those places, go to the place and find a tower, just a tower, for a computer that had everything new or up to date in it at the time, which was like bigger processors, bigger hard drives, more RAM. It all came with a little bit more stuff than usual. And when you usually buy just the tower, you get a pretty good deal. It's like $500, and you can get pretty much all the new stuff that's come out in the recent amount of time or whatever. Because basically the computer hardware is every 2 weeks something becomes obsolete. So that's what I do is I go and buy a tower for 500 or 600 bucks. Find a decent tower for that amount of money, and then from there I'll take it home and rip out all the stuff that's unnecessary, like the just stupid things that companies put in that you don't need, and I'll go into the hardware, or not the hardware, so into the software, and get rid of a lot of the software that you don't need, and and then I'll just go on to a computer website and buy like a new graphics card and new RAM and stuff, and then just order it and plug it right into the computer, and I have everything up to date with a little bit of extra stuff, and it's a decent gaming computer. And I've done that for years, and it's worked outstanding. I did this one pretty well. I got a high end graphics card with 6 gigs of RAM, and it's been perfectly fine for years. I haven't had to get a new computer, but now it's starting to come apparent to me that I do need to invest into a new system. This one's getting a bit outdated. This one's only got a dual core processor, and there's quad core processors now. I haven't even been paying attention. Um, so that's basically what the plan is, and hopefully that'll actually fix a lot of my problems too. I was reading that this game runs a lot better on a 64-bit system than a 32-bit system, and right now I'm running a 32-bit system, so I'm thinking that that's the majority of the issues that I'm having right now, unfortunately. But you know, what are you gonna do? I say that a lot, don't I? What are you gonna do? I mean, what can you do other than buy a new computer? And I'm not made of money, people. Um, but anyways, we're gonna get back to talking about the game. Um, so I'm basically just trying to catch up with our space station right now. This probably wasn't the most brilliant idea that I've been. No, I don't want 80. Not the most brilliant time to lift off whenever I did, but hey, what are you gonna do? It gives me enough time to talk to you guys about what's going on with me, I guess. Um, so, anyways, we're gonna try. We're getting above 70,000 meters altitude, so we can actually use the time warp at least 50 times instead of 4 times, because catching up with the space station takes a long time if you're only time warping by 4 times, which is very tedious to me. So we're gonna fast forward. Yeah, there we go. Fast forward, get down to our node here. We only got 9 meters per second of change to do, which is basically nothing. So we're gonna do that real quick and get a nice circular orbit. There we go. All right. And now, since we should be above 70,000 meters. I was going to say feet. Above 70,000 meters on both ends, we should be able to stay at 50 times warp until we can catch up with our space station, which I must say I like a lot. I like the way I redesigned it. It's very, very useful now. It's very, very stable now as well. The only problems, I mean, recently the only problems that I've been having with it is that it's starting to get so big that it's lagging me really, really bad when I get close to it, because I have a bunch of parts put together with. I mean, I think I only have 3 different actual modules on it right now, but each module has so many different parts that it's like whenever you get close to it, it lags you pretty bad. Um, but anyways, we're gonna get close to our space station and set up a maneuver node here and see if we can get a nice, decent, close encounter with our space station. All right, what's that at? Let's see, 107. Let's see if we can. Are we outrunning it, or what are we doing here? I think we're outrunning it. Yes, we are outrunning it. So we need to move it this way. Maybe slew. Intersect. Let's change this. See if that helps. 10.9. 1 kilometer. I could deal with that. Closer to better. I only have 73.6 millimeters per second to change, and our node is coming up in less than 30 seconds, which is also awesome. So we should be able to rendezvous here in the next 5 minutes at least. So we're going to wait, and now we're going to full bore here. Get this burn. Hopefully it'll catch it up on time. Basically, we're burning directly at the space station, which is fine. I've also figured out rendezvousing, and I made it basically a lot easier on myself to rendezvous. I can get within four kilometers and be fine. It just takes a little bit longer, um, but usually whenever it was 7.4, that's not good. Yeah, I said 4 kilometers and now I'm at 7.4. All right, so we need to slow down. We're at 6.4. Can we get that closer? 1.3. I can deal with that. All right. So let's find our node on our nav ball here. It's probably over here somewhere. Maybe. Gotta be somewhere around here. Where are you at? There you are. Wow, I basically made a big UE. So yeah, let's get that there, and we're only changing 3.4 meters per second, which is nothing. And we're going to wait, and it should be good right there. Three, two, one. All right, perfect. And we're gonna get rid of this node, and where are we at here? 1.7 kilometers away, which is perfectly fine. And we are doing 167 meters per second in relation to our target, which is right there, just 42 kilometers away at the moment. So basically, we're gonna fast forward until we get close. And actually, we're slowing down quite a bit, which is awesome. So I don't have to use a lot of fuel. I mean, I actually have a ton of fuel in this thing right now. This is my reusable lander that I've been using, or I used once already to get to the moon, and I've had plenty of fuel to do it. So it's actually pretty sweet. I'm actually a little glad that I'm using, or that I built it the way that I did, because it's actually worked multiple times. Well, for docking and for getting to the moon at least. I could probably even use it to get to Minimus if I really, really want to. All I gotta do is add probably like another small fuel tank to it, and go from there. I was using the nuclear engine on these big tanks, but it's just so unstable whenever you build a big stack of them. So basically, I've been using the smallest big fuel tank engine that I could use, which is pretty. It's not nearly as efficient as the nuclear engine, but it is pretty efficient for the amount of thrust. It's a very efficient thrust to weight ratio, which is great. So you could still move pretty quick, but you also don't need to use a lot of the fuel that you have, which is awesome. But I still do try to use the nuclear engines as much as possible because they are the most efficient engines to use for interplanetary travel. Um, because I mean, you don't need a lot of thrust. It just takes it just makes it basically it just takes a lot longer to get to different planets and whatnot. But you'll also have a lot more fuel when you do end up getting to different planets and whatnot, which is always good. Because honestly, I'd rather have a little too much fuel than not enough, because then you just end up getting stranded onto places like we did last time at the moon. Basically, so now I am slowing myself down because I'm coming up next to the space station, which is not very far away, but we're also doing 60 meters per second. We're about to do 60 meters per second past it, so I'm basically waiting for it to line up on the side or get close to lining up on the side, and then I'm going to thrust up, or, throttle up rather, and slow our descent, or slow our speed in relation to it even quicker, so we actually get as close as possible before we actually have to stop and turn towards the space station to get there. And right now my Fraps is getting 4 frames per second, and I'm 800 meters away from the space station, as just kind of an idea of what I was saying earlier about how it lags me very badly whenever I start getting close to the space station. I'm also sure that me filming and recording my voice doing this isn't helping my performance as well. But what are you gonna do? Trying to keep you guys entertained, anyways. So, anyways, we're gonna point at the space station now, since we've pretty much stopped our speed in relation to it. So we're gonna point at it, and we're gonna throttle up just a touch, probably get to about 5 to 10 meters per second in comparison to the space station. So we'll have enough time to slow down so we don't run into it, because that's a bad thing, in case you guys were wondering. So we're going to keep everything together on this module as is right now, so we can use, I'm going to refuel as much stuff as I can on the space station, just so I have as much fuel floating around the Kerbin as much as possible, so for future missions and whatnot. But we're going to go ahead and slowly drift in here towards the space station, slow that down a little bit, and point to the opposite direction here, so we can slow down quicker, because the RCS thrusters are awesome, but they also take a long time to do certain things. So basically, I'm just doing this to help us so we don't crash into something, or we don't have to start burning any sooner. We can just basically get as close as we want and go from there. But yeah, I've been talking a lot, haven't I? Oh, there's been a lot to explain, I guess. But anyways, that Kethane mod is actually pretty cool. It's got Kethane detectors. It's got fuel tanks. It's got different size drills. It's got different size containers. It's got you actually can go and send a satellite out and actually scan the planet, and it'll show you where the Kethane deposits are, which I thought was really cool, and actually kind of gave me a reason to set up a base at the moon, to basically to have a reason to set up a base at the moon, because before it was just kind of like basically setting up a base on the moon is like anyone that sets up a base on the moon without actually having a purpose of setting a base up on the moon is basically just showing that they can set up a base on the moon, or whatever. But I actually wanted to have a reason to set up a base on the moon, so that's what I wanted to do, was use the Kethane mod to do that, and it actually gave me a reason, and actually probably make interplanetary travel a lot easier too, because we can use the fuel that we mine and convert into liquid fuel to actually get to other planets, and not have to constantly get things out of orbit around Kerbin. Instead, where it takes 22.2 kilometers a second to get it into an orbit around Kerbin, whereas on the moon it only takes 400 meters per second, which is 1/4 of the amount of delta V that you need to get into orbit, which is makes everything so much easier. Which means last time I landed on the moon, I had maybe 300 liters or 300 whatever measurement they use in this game, but we'll just call it liters because pretty much everything's in metric right now. So anyways, so we're just gonna go with that. But I only had like 300 liters of fuel when I was landed on the surface of the moon, and I have these little tiny engines that don't use very much fuel, but I still had enough fuel to get back into orbit to and then actually get back into orbit and get back to Kerbin. And basically, when I got back to Kerbin, instead of using fuel to or bring my descent down, whenever I set up the original orbit to or original capture orbit to Kerbin, I set it low. I set it to about 40,000 meters above the surface of Kerbin, and actually aerobrake to make the apoapsis come down a lot, and I actually took 3 or 4 orbits to slow me down enough that where the apoapsis was within reasonable distance for me to actually burn to change it instead of aerobraking to change it. And I've also set this the space station up so it stays on the North Pole, or it stays pointing at the North Pole, so I can set up everything that I'm using or wanting to dock with the space station. I set up the same way. That way, whenever I come in, I'm facing the exact same way as everything else, and I can just slide right into a docking port instead of having to deal with a lot of other stuff. But basically, I'm gonna turn off my lights on this thing, and we're gonna go down with our RCS, and we're gonna go over. Sweet. Everything's pointing in the way that I hoped it would. But anyways, so we're gonna dock this. We're gonna swap out Dude Moan because I like that name. I'm gonna swap Dude Moan into the command pod and put Jeb into this one, and kind of just swap our Kerbins out, and then get Jeb and Gus Bus back to the surface of Kerbin safely. I honestly don't even know how long this episode has run, but it'll probably be one episode. I don't want to break this up into pieces, so we're gonna try to get over there as fast as we can. We're gonna set. Ooh, we're on the side of the refuel tanker, which I don't think is what I wanted to do, but we're gonna set this as our target. And we need to come backwards. I'm gonna set up the camera like this so I can actually remember where I'm going here. Anyways, we're going to drift slowly into our space station. And once we get to our space station, I'll kind of point out some cool little things about it that I changed around and whatnot. I mean, obviously, you guys can see that it's completely different than our original space station. But I like it a lot. I like this design a lot better. It seems to work to make everything a lot easier for docking and what have you. So anyways, we're gonna speed this up a little bit. Get relatively close before we come. We need to stop. We need to go up. Go up, and we're still going down, so we need to go up, or at least stop our vertical movement. Slower movement that way. Kind of just drive right in here, hoping that we'll have enough RCS to do this, because I really don't have that much RCS on this thing. I should have enough. But anyways, let's see where we're at here. We got about 60 units. We'll call them units of RCS fuel. We need to go up and over. Trying to figure out what we need to do here. left. I know that much. Or at least get over just further and far enough, and then go straight. Probably go down a little bit here. The space station also has a ton of lights on it. And there are not even lights to light up the space station. There are lights to light up anything that's docking with the space station, which helps a lot, actually. So, actually, once we get close, we should have enough light to light up our entire module here. Okay, so we're going straight, and we need to go over. So we're going to go slow down a little bit. Go over. Back. Up. Alright, I'm going to get silent probably because this is the hard part. Especially when this game is lagging really bad right now, because as of right now, my fraps is saying that I'm only getting 4 frames per second, which is really crappy to dock things with, because everything's delayed, it seems like, whenever I push buttons, which is not what I want. So, alright, so anyways, we're pretty much lined up right now. We're just trying to get our vector or prograde marker over to the same spot that our that everything else is anyways, which seems to be working. And if we can get it roughly close enough, we should be able to dock without any too much problem anyways. I hope I don't break off one of my solar panels with the docking port in the middle here. Dock smoothly, please. Where are we at here? We're lining up pretty quick here. And, oh, turn off those. Let the docking ports do their job, and we're connected. Awesome. Alright, so this is our new space station. We still have the command pod, and it's pretty much the same. But basically now I have these big docking ports right now for the space station pieces because they work a lot better. And also this is its own module that can fly unmanned anywhere. So we have 4 docking nodes on the outside that are small, and we have one big docking node in the middle for, say, if I wanted to fly this whole space station out, I can fly up a whole module to a whole different module to just fly the space station wherever I want. It would just consist of engines and whatnot, and I can still have it unmanned. But anyways, oh, so Bob is up here, not Jeb. I didn't know who was up here. But we are going to get Dude Moan out and over to the whoa. Whoa, turn on your RCS, Dude Mon! Dude Mon! Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh, come on. Okay. Alright, you scared the living crap out of me, dude. Woo. That scared me. I don't know if anybody else got scared there, but I got pretty scared because he was not turning on his RCS and he was floating far away from said space station. And that's the last thing I really wanted to do. Man, that scared me. I mean, ugh. Don't screw with me like that, Dude Mon. With your awesome name. Alright, so we're going to try to get him over to a ladder here. Slowly, anyways. Or at least to the crew container instead of the command module. So we're just gonna get him in there and then get Bob out and bring him over to the lander, and then we're gonna get them back home safe. Hopefully, I'm hoping, anyways. It'd be a plus. I actually wonder if I can just put Dudemon hanging on the ladder out here, and if he can just hang on to the ladder while I get Bob over to the lander. I think that'll be a lot easier than actually putting him in and then getting him back out, because that kind of scared the crap out of me when he exited or EVA'd there. Grab, grab, grab. Are you grabbing? Is that what you're doing right now? Okay. All right. Let's get Bob out of here. Where are we at here? Before we leave our space station, we gotta remember that I want to fuel it as much as I can. We're gonna get Bob out. Bob didn't have that issue, dude, man. What the hell's your problem, man? You gotta scare me like that and go flying off of the space station, or flying off of the shuttle anyways. It was unnecessary, my friend. Unnecessary. So anyways, we're gonna get over to our... Are we gonna run into our... Nope, okay. Well, we might now. But we're gonna get over to our lander and then refuel as much stuff as we can. Turn on our headlamp here. Get close. Pressing buttons. Grab. Are you on there, Bob? Bob? Alright, there you go. Climb up the ladder, Bob. And then board the thing. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Now we're going to go back to Dudemon and get him into the command pod. And then refuel the space station, and then get our guys home. Alright. So, what do we need to refuel here? That's full. That's full. Okay, I'm thinking all of those are full, but I'm going to check anyways. Full. What about this guy? That one's full. This is the only thing that's not full, so we're actually going to take most of this fuel and put it in here. Oh, wrong way. Stop. In. There we go. We're going to wait until it fuels up quite a bit, just so we have that extra fuel up here, because, I mean, it doesn't hurt at all to have a lot of fuel orbiting, just in case, you know, you end up using a lot more fuel than you intended, or, you know, whatever. Alright, so we have about 300 units of fuel in our lander stage, which will be more than enough. Actually, realistically, what we could do is take this all of this fuel. Actually, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take all of the fuel in our lander stage, this stage anyways, which the bottom stage, which we can decouple. So we're going to take all the fuel out of that, and then we're going to take some RCS fuel and actually put it back into our lander, because I just don't trust, because I have a feeling that I used a lot of, yeah, I did. Used a lot of monoprop fuel to get to this point. So, what does that have? Does that have things on it? I think it does. I'm wondering if that refueler pod, or the orange tank right there, has parachutes on it. I'm not sure if it does, because if it does, whenever it's empty, I can bring it back and actually bring it safely to the surface, which I think would be helpful. And we're gonna take this guy and fuel it as well. And then we're gonna get away from our space station and get Bob and Gus Bus back home safely. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. just waiting for these to fuel, and we'll get them back home. And I've also been getting pretty good with aiming on getting back to the Kerbal Space Station, which is cool. It's actually kind of neat to land within 20 kilometers of the space center. Uh, just for fun, I guess would be the word. So, anyways, we should be good. So we're going to undock, and we're going to go switch back. We're going to back away slowly from said space station. And we're going to go this way. Yes. That is the direction we wish to go. Now it says we don't have any fuel left in this tank, but I also have a tank underneath of the pod and 2 tanks on the side, which are full of fuel, which honestly we don't even need the stage underneath us right now. We're just carrying it back with us so we can not have any space junk, basically, I guess. So we're going to activate these engines. Make sure our throttle is down anyways. Did it seriously use fuel from here? It did! Oh, you bastards. I didn't even know it used the fuel underneath. Damn it. Whatever. We'll still have plenty of fuel. It doesn't take much to get back into orbit, or back into the atmosphere. So we're going to... Actually, we could probably burn right about here. Retrograde, and bring our periapsis down. Yep. We'll bring it down to about 20,000. Bring our periaps down to 20,000 meters, and that'll be enough. It should be enough to bring the atmospheric drag should slow us down enough to, hopefully I'm not going to run back into our space station. I should be far away from it, or at least I'm going to try to get far away from it, because I would rather not meet back up with it in orbit and crash into it. That'd be great. But anyways, we got Dudemon back in the space station, and we're bringing Bob, one of our A-team, back to the surface, because he did his job well as running the space station until we can get a new recruit up there to switch places with him, I guess. We're gonna wait. So it's 92 meters per second that we need to change, which isn't that much. So we're going to point in this direction. And now that I'm getting further away from the space station, the game is starting to speed up. I'm having a lot easier of a time now, which is funny. It's about 15 seconds. Hopefully I'm not pointed towards the space station. Where is the space station? It's probably above me. Yep. Alright, cool. So we're far enough away from the space station now. Alright, so we're going to start our burn. We're going to turn on our SAS because it hasn't been on. And we're going to start our burn now. Slow ourselves down. Should have more than enough fuel to get us back into the atmosphere at least. Under 40,000 feet is the light blue, or the middle blue thing on the atmosphere gauge, which is where you start actually seeing atmospheric drag and flames from coming back into the atmosphere. Above that, you're just hitting a very light coating of atmosphere, and it actually won't bring you down. It shouldn't bring you down all the way anyways, and it should actually just slow you down. It won't actually pull you into the atmosphere, which is awesome. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Looking at 33. Alright, that should be plenty. So we're going to speed up all the way fast as we can until we get to until the point where it starts slowing our time warp down to that right there. But right now, we're not even in the atmosphere yet, so it's not even slowing us down. We're actually still picking up speed, which is fine. We're actually going to turn our RCS off because it's like freaking out right now. And I'm going to actually use what's left of our fuel to either speed us up or slow us down because I want to get pretty close to the space station. Um, so as we're re-entering, I'll adjust our entry level and whatnot. But we're going to actually... Well, we should be okay, I think. Maybe. Let's go this way. See what it does there. We want our periaps to actually be past our flag there because I put up another flag to mark our space center because in case, whenever I want to land close, makes it, a lot more cool or a lot more fun rather to actually have to aim because if I end up using this Kethane mod, I'm gonna need to land pretty much every module that I end up putting on the moon close to one another so I can, connect them and use them properly, I guess, would be the ideal situation. So the atmosphere is slowing us down quite a bit right now. We should be getting into, we're about to hit the actual atmosphere that's going to slow us down quite a bit. Until we get down there, I don't really know. We should be okay. Um, no, it doesn't look like we're gonna be because it's slowing us down quite a bit. So we're actually going to, because I don't want to land in those mountains. We've all seen what happens when I land in the mountains. So when I want to get to prograde, but I also want to point up. So we're gonna burn this direction. Actually, you know what? We're gonna actually disconnect this stage because we don't need it anymore. I'm gonna decouple that, and now we'll just have just our main stage, so we're not dragging all that extra weight with us. Actually burn away from it. Ooh, I should probably put in my solar panels too, huh? Probably be a good idea, huh, guys? Alright, so let's slow the camera or the time warp down. Press 1 should bring in our solar panels. Yes. Solar panels are now retracting, which is good. We're gonna cut our engines. And actually, we're gonna burn a little more aggressively here to get our landing point up towards the space center. Which we're only at 25,000 feet, which isn't very, well, I mean, it's not low, but it's not very high either, so it's not that big of a deal. Once we get to reasonable speed within the atmosphere, we should be able to control this a lot easier. I also have 4 parachutes on this lander, so we should have plenty of parachutes on it just to to land with all the weight of the fuel and the engines and whatnot. So we're gonna actually, it's still looking good, and we're making progress there, making everything a little bit bigger. We're getting closer, anyways, to the space center. But I also want to avoid those mountains as much as possible, because I don't really have control. Do we want to go this way? No, we want to go the opposite way. We want to go this direction. Aim a little bit more towards the space station here. Aim this way. We still have lots of fuel, which is awesome. Throttle up more. Get back into regular. Actually, I'm just gonna wait until this thing gets slowed down enough, or yes, until it slows down enough that I can actually do something. So once I start getting those atmospheric re-entry effects, uh, then I'll start adjusting from there, which I should be getting out of that here rather soon, actually. Should be slowing down, I think, under 1,000 or under a kilometer a second. I don't have to deal with that stuff. But we're also aiming straight for the mountains, so we're going to actually throttle up again here. All the way. And hopefully burn to get past those mountains. Which it looks like that's what's going on, which is good. Point over a little bit more here. I don't really need to go up. Just need to go out. I don't know how I'm still getting the re-entry effects. I'm well into the atmosphere now, and I'm not going that fast. I mean, I'm going 800 meters per second, but that's not terribly fast. But I'm gonna try. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to get another couple episodes of this game. But I'm gonna try to adjust some settings within the game and see if it'll run smoother. Um, now that I don't have any atmospheric drag or effects, my game's running 10 times smoother. So I don't know why my game has been acting up, but we are going straight for those mountains right now. I don't like that. So we're either going to try to not go directly for those mountains, or get over the mountains, or land before the mountains. I can't really tell what's going on with the ground right now, but we're going to be directly over these mountains here shortly. So you know what? We're going to actually point retrograde and land before the mountains, because I really, really, really don't want to land in the mountains anymore. So we're going to point retrograde, slow our horizontal movement down. We should be in the clear still for this side of the mountains anyways. So we're gonna do that, and I don't think I would have had enough fuel to actually get us over the mountains anyway, so I'm gonna slow our descent down, and then we're gonna pop our parachutes whenever I run out of fuel. We're actually gonna pop them now, because we're gonna speed up. I don't know why we're speeding up, because I got us down to a reasonable speed. So we're gonna actually fast forward and then see how much it'll slow us down, and we're actually gonna put our gear down, put our solar panels back at. Oh, I just blew off my solar panels. Damn! Put on our lights. I didn't think we were going that fast to destroy my solar panels. And we're gonna burn. Ooh, that was scary. Alright, cool. Now, as long as we don't land on a horrifically steep, mountain or anything, we should be fine. Which it looks like we're landing in a plateau or on a flat in a little bit of a hilly area, but we should be okay. Let's see here. There's our lights. Oh, we're fine. Look at that. Nice solid landing. We got Bob and Gus Bus back home safely. Alright guys, well thanks for watching this episode. I'm sorry it's been taking me so long to get episodes out. But, like I said, I've been having a lot of issues with getting this game to run correctly. So thanks again for watching, guys. Subscribe. I'm going to probably be doing another Let's Play on a different game. I haven't decided which game yet, though. It might be one of two games, but it's I'm gonna be doing a let's play on another game while I try to figure out why this game isn't running so smoothly, and hopefully I'll be able to get another episode of Kerbal Space Program out sooner rather than later. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave comments, like the video, do all that fun stuff. Yay! All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.